everybody, it's Dr. Jo and Cool Callie. Got neck pain with a headache? Try these exercises and stretches. So with these stretches and exercises, that's for when you have a headache with neck pain. And a lot of times that can be what we call a cervicogenic headache, and that's just when there's some imbalances in the muscles. So a lot of times it's from tight muscles, it's from trigger points, and it could be just from weakness in general. So we're going to start off with some simple things and then kind of work our way to a little bit more advanced exercises where we're doing some combination of things. But you're going to need some equipment. You're going to need a towel to do the first stretch. Something like a lacrosse ball is great for trigger points. If you don't have that, you can use your fingers, but sometimes they get tired out. Or you can use a foam roll and do some of the trigger points lying down. So you can also roll up like a thicker towel, just roll it up really tight, and that should work okay as well. So if you don't have those, hit the pause button and go grab them so you can have them next to you. So the first stretch is going to be what we call SNAGs, and basically it's just kind of holding the segments of your cervical spine or your neck area and doing a stretch. And that is to help kind of really get them loosened up at one segment at a time. So when you're just doing a general stretch, that's great. But a lot of times if you use the towel to kind of hold the segments in place, you can get the stretch up here while you're kind of stabilizing the bottom piece. And a lot of times with the headaches, with the neck pain, these are really great to kind of stretch everything out. So just kind of place the towel around you here. What you're going to do is if I'm stretching towards this way, I'm going to just hold the towel down here and then take this piece up over kind of along my jawline and my ear. You don't want it to be too low, you don't want it to be really high, you kind of want it to be around this area here. So I'm going to take it and bring it up here. With this hand, I'm pulling down, and that's just kind of to stabilize that area. And then with this side, I'm pulling up and over. You can kind of put the towel on the neck wherever you're feeling most of that pain, again, just to kind of stabilize that area. So pulling down here, I'm coming up and over, I'm pulling down, and I'm pulling up, getting that nice stretch in there and just holding that stretch for about 30 seconds. I know with the pulling down this way and pulling up this way, sometimes it's hard to get that full 30 seconds. So if you need to kind of take a break and then start over, you can just do more reps if you need to. So make sure you're doing both sides. So now I'm stabilizing, holding it down here, bringing this one up and over kind of again on that jawline right where that ear is, pulling down this way and then up and over this way. And again, holding that for 30 seconds if you can. This is a really great stretch. If you want to get a little bit higher up in what we call the occipital area, you can bring it up a little bit more, and instead of kind of looking up and over, you pull down and then just come straight across this way, and that's going to give you a nice good stretch as well. If you're really tight and stiff, you might feel a little pop or two. As long as it's not painful, that's okay. That's usually just some self-adjustments going on there. So with trigger points, the big areas are your upper traps, your levator scapulae, your SCM, which is your sternocleidomastoid there, and the suboccipital muscles that are basically those smaller muscles that come up into the skull area right there. And so when you have trigger points, which are basically just kind of knotted up muscles, if you can get those muscles relaxed, that really kind of helps relax everything. So you can use, like I said, something a little bit firmer, like a lacrosse ball. If that's too much, you can use a tennis ball. A racket ball is a little bit squishier, so sometimes it's a little bit more tolerable. The main one that I think a lot of times causes those headaches with the neck pain is the levator scapulae muscle, and that's the one that just elevates the scapula or those shoulder blades. So a lot of times when people sit like this and they're stressed out, that's what gets irritated. If you push around a little bit, kind of finding where the shoulder blade is down here and the muscle comes all the way up here. So a lot of times where it attaches at that shoulder blade, that's where it is, and you can push on it and go, oh, that's the spot. So again, you can find it with your fingers and just push with your fingers, but If you have some arthritis in your fingers like I do, sometimes it's a little easier to use something else. So you can just find it with that lacrosse ball. And so right there, I'm pushing it and I can feel it. And I'm not even really pushing that hard. If you want a little bit more pressure, you can lie down, usually on a firmer surface like the floor. If you can get down on the floor is better, and just find that spot and hold it there for 15 to 30 seconds. Sometimes if you can get to that 30 seconds, you'll feel it let go a little bit, kind of like a stretch. You can also, so you're in your upper trap, sometimes it comes out a little bit more right here. Sometimes they're all in different spots of the upper trap. So same thing, you can just find that spot. Again, I just found it. You can feel it when it's a trigger point that's irritated. You can usually find it pretty quickly. The SCM, which is that sternocleidomastoid, comes down to the clavicle, comes up all the way to that mastoid. I wouldn't use the ball for that, but a lot of times you can just find it. It's a little bit right behind the ear. That's where that bone that kind of sticks out, and you go just below that, and you can just press a couple fingers on it and you can feel it. Again, if it's irritated, you'll know when you hit that spot. And again, just kind of putting firm pressure, but not pushing as hard as you can, and trying to hold that for about 30 seconds, and usually that will let go. An easier one for the occipital muscles is actually lying down. I like actually using a pool noodle or a rolled up towel because it's right across the baseline of that skull there. So a lot of times it's just a little bit easier if you use something like this. Gonna lie down on it. Again, kind of find that spot. And what I like to do is then just kind of turn my head side to side, and right there I can feel that I'm kind of hitting that spot, and then coming back over I can feel that spot as well. So again, just for comfort level, usually trigger points are a little bit uncomfortable, but it shouldn't just be sharp pain. It should kind of be that hurt so good kind of feeling when you're doing it. So you can just kind of alternate back and forth and do that. Then the next one is doing a chin tuck, but lying down. If you've seen some of my videos, I love chin tucks. I usually do them sitting up, but when you've got that headache with that neck pain, sometimes it's just really uncomfortable to do it sitting up. So I'm just gonna kind of roll this noodle down a little bit. You don't have to have it there, but again, sometimes having a target helps a little bit to get that chin tuck. So with the chin tuck, I'm actually pushing my chin and my head all the way down into the bed or the couch or the floor, whatever you're in, and then just holding that for about 30 seconds. So it's not tucking in like this, but it's tucking down and in. So this almost makes it more like an isometric exercise where you're activating the muscles, but you see my head's not moving as much as usually when I'm sitting up. So I'm pushing down and in. So you're activating those muscles, but you're not doing a big movement that might make it more painful. So sometimes this one is a lot nicer to do lying down. Again, you don't have to use the noodle, especially if you don't have one. You can just push down. See, I'm getting a little bit more movement there. If the movement isn't painful, holding 3 to 5 seconds, doing that about 5 times. Also, especially when you have headaches, trying to relax the whole body helps. So doing some diaphragmatic breathing is really great. And you can also do the diaphragmatic breathing with exercises. So with diaphragmatic breathing, it's just breathing through your belly. If you haven't done it before, or if you feel like it's sometimes hard to do, putting your hand on your belly and then putting your other hand on your chest to give you a guide is a really nice way of doing it. You want, when you breathe in, your belly, the hand on your belly to come up, but the one on your chest to stay still. So just breathing in into your belly, and then breathing out. So my chest came up a little bit with that one. Let me go a little bit again. And breathing in and out. So once you get that accomplished, you can do your diaphragmatic breathing and then also do your chin tuck if you're lying down. So I'm going to do a chin tuck and then my diaphragmatic breathing. So you could do maybe 3 to 5 nice deep breaths while you're holding your chin tuck if that's comfortable. And then if you just want to lie here and do the diaphragmatic breathing, that should help as well. There you have it. Those were some stretches and exercises for neck pain with a headache. If you'd like to support my channel, click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe. Where, Callie? Yep, down there. That's right. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.